but have failed to triumph in their last 9. Lille also failed to pick up a win on Friday, but they still hold on to second place as Montpellier were beaten. Romain Thomas with the only goal for Angers on Saturday. Memphis Depay had a virtuoso display against Guingamp, had a hand in all 4 goals, scoring 2. One of them a real beauty of a free kick to give Lyon a 4-2 win at bottom side Guingamp. That puts Lyon just a point behind Montpellier in third. Paris Saint-Germain, well, they go to Monaco later tonight in search of a 13th successive win. Dijon, as you can see, are in the bottom 3 now, following Amiens' victory on Saturday night. So a lot of work for the visitors to do. The same, though, for Adil Rami and his Marseille teammates. The France international's moustache is in far better shape than Rudy Garcia's men, who've lost their last 2 league games, failing to score. They were beaten by arch rivals Paris Saint-Germain 2-0 here in their last home outing, and then roundly beaten 3-0 by Montpellier, the surprise packages of the start of the season last time out before they headed to Rome. Florian Thauvann's dip in form has had a lot to do with Marseille's own struggles. He's got just 1 goal in his last 5 as the France international. Kostas Mitroglou brought into the team today after sitting up in the stands at the Stadio Olimpico on Thursday. He will be looking to add some additional firepower to a team that has somewhat gone off the boil. Mitroglou, one of 4 changes, in fact, to the starting lineup. 2 of them to be expected, though. First choice goalkeeper Steve Mondonda returns between the posts to replace Johan Pele, who's been playing in the cup competitions. And Dimitri Payet returns as well to captain the side. So Mondonda in goal. The back 4 of Sarr, who's also a new face in the starting 11 today. Rami, Gustavo and the Japan international Sakai. Maxime Lopez keeps his place in the side alongside the Dutch international Kevin Strootman. Thauvin, Payet and Campos. Campos, who played left wing back on Thursday in Rome. And Mitroglou, who spearheads the side. Well, talking about a dip in form, Dijon won their first 3 games of the season, but have picked up just 2 points in 9 games since. At the start of the campaign, they were level on points, believe it or not, with Paris Saint-Germain after 3 games. There were jokes even about them being in next season's Champions League. No one at the Burgundy club, though, is laughing now. Those 2 points have come from draws, one of them most recently with Monaco. They did pick up a win recently in the Coupe de la Ligue, but Olivier Delalio's men have been in free fall since the heady days of August and find themselves in the bottom 3. 4 points above Monaco and Guingamp, the bottom 2, who would go down automatically if relegation were to happen today. But Dijon uncomfortably in the playoff spot. Not helped as well by the fact that Caen have claimed a point at Bordeaux, which has put them a point clear of Dijon now in the race to the bottom. They were beaten 4-0 last time out at home by newly promoted Nîmes, who've had a huge amount of troubles themselves. Needless to say, Olivier Delalio has rung the changes, particularly at the back. He may well go with a back 5 today, but Belgian international Laurent Simon won't be part of it. In fact, 3 of the back 4, as you see on the screen there, didn't play last weekend. That's Koulibaly, Aguerd and Shafiq. Rosier, the only one to claim his place. Lautoa will underpin that midfield, while Tavares, who scored all 3 of his goals so far this season in the first 2 games of the campaign, will be looking to break an 8-game drought in front of goal. Difficult to know how this one will go, but there's little doubt that Marseille can ill afford another bad performance. They need to play and win with style to please their ever-demanding fans, and also to try and prevent the top 3 from getting away from them. As things stand, Marseille come into this one in 7th place. They're some 7 points already behind Lille, who are in 2nd. And let's not even talk about Paris Saint-Germain. That's a little bit painful for those Marseille fans. 17 points, the difference between their beloved team and their bitter, bitter rivals. It'll be interesting to see just how many Marseille fans turn up today. Normally an average gate of around 50,000. Don't think it'll be anywhere near that today, although there are a couple of closures due to the indiscretions, shall we say, of Marseille fans earlier in the season. A lot of banners too around. You can see there, soutien aux victimes aux familles de la rue d'Aubaine. You may well or may not have heard about that. It's support for the victims and families of the 2 buildings that collapsed on the street called Aubaine in central Marseille. At least 7 people have died. The club is to give a €40,000 check to the Red Cross to help with their support of the victims and the families, and the continued search for anybody who may have been involved in that tragedy. A number of other buildings in the area have since been declared unsafe, have been demolished for safety. That's why those Marseille players have black armbands on today. Of course, it's a big day as well. The centenary of the end of the First World War. You may well see just on the right shoulder there of Kevin Strootman on his shirt a little blue flower. In Britain we have the poppy, in France they have the bleuet, that small blue flower to commemorate the victims of all the wars, and of course that Great War that ended 100 years ago today. Duye Chaleta Tsar there on the left, the Croatia international. He's on the bench today. The marquee summer signing he was really of the Marseille transfer window. Hasn't had an easy start to life though at the Stade Velodrome. Had injury problems, of course he returned late to pre-season training, given he was part of the Croatia squad that reached the World Cup final. He was then sent off against Lyon. Lack of form too means that he starts on the bench today. Won't have to deal with Julio Tavares, who can be a real handful, the Cape Verdean, the Dijon captain. He's already his club's all-time leading scorer in Ligue 1 with 24 goals. He added 3 of those this season, but all 3 in the opening 2 games of the campaign, as Dijon went 3 for 3 in the opening 3 matches. They've since picked up just 2 points from their last 9. The view inside the tunnel at the Stade Orange Velodrome here. had the roof put on it, and it's quite a spectacular roof too, ahead of Euro 2016. It's a big game today for Mandanda and Rami, and the Marseille back four. They've been porous, while the strikers and the creative players such as Thauvin and Payet have failed to deliver the goods at the opposite end of the pitch. Payet himself announcing rather surprisingly that heads drop when Marseille concede a goal. Let's see how they react if they go one down today. Here they come then. Marseille against Dijon. Week 13 of the Ligue 1 season in France. Marseille having lost their last four in all competitions, already out of the Europa League with 2 games still to play. Dijon, after winning their first 3 of the season, come into this one in the bottom 3 in the league, having picked up just 2 points from their last 9 league outings. 2 sides in desperate search for form. Will they find it here today? Marseille boss Rudy Garcia makes 4 changes to the side that was beaten 2-1 by Lazio in Rome to end their Europa League ambitions for the season. Stefan Mandanda unsurprisingly returns in goal. Bounassar drops into the back four. Maxime Lopez keeps his place alongside Kevin Strootman. Dimitri Payet returns to captain the side, while Kostas Mitroglou was introduced in place of Clinton and G up front. Very young referee, just making his name in the game. Willy Delajorde, just 26 years old, takes charge today. He has more experience in the VAR truck, should he require it. Olivier Delalio, the Dijon coach, and he'll shake hands with Frédéric Bompard, not Rudy Garcia. Garcia suspended from dugout activities following his red card against Paris Saint-Germain. So Bompard, who was actually the goalkeeping coach when Garcia was Dijon coach back in the early decade of the 2000s, he will be in the dugout today. Unsurprisingly, the visitors, beaten 4-0 at home by Nîmes last time, might make a string of changes too. Just Valentin Rosier keeps his place in the back four following that defeat. Enzo Loiodice comes into midfield, the 17-year-old alongside the 38-year-old Florent Balmont. Big day for Naïm Sliti, Marseille-born artful midfielder.
The end, the centenary of the First World War, but for the at least 7 victims of the terrible building collapses in central Marseille earlier this week. That was Jacques-Henri Hérault, Marseille president, alongside sporting director Andoni Zubizarreta, who, along with coach Rudy Garcia, recently signed a contract extension. Done a solid job up to now. Things unravelling a little bit in recent weeks. They need to take advantage of Dijon's own dip in form today. It's the visitors in their change kit of blue with red trim who get us underway. Dijon with just 2 points from their last 9 games after a stunning start to the campaign. Their confidence will be fragile. That's nicely done by beIN, who was quicker than his former Lille teammate Florent Belmont. Rami along with Mondonda and Florian Thauvin, called up by France coach Didier Deschamps for the Nations League game in the Netherlands next week. Also a friendly against Uruguay to come too. Tavares, who'll have his hands full too with Luis Gustavo and Adil Rami. Gustavo playing at centre-back again as he did so successfully last season. Hasn't been quite as solid this time round though, the former Hoffenheim, Bayern Munich and Wolfsburg midfielder. Sakai slotting in at left-back here. Jordan and Marvi badly out of form as well. Here's Mitroglou. Campos. That will be the first corner of the game. Played at left wing back in a back five did Lucas Campos against Lazio on Thursday. Marseille, you have to say, a little bit unlucky to be beaten 2-1 and see their Europa League dreams ended this season. Aiming to get back into the top 3 though and qualify for next season's Champions League. As Payet delivers that one, good solid header away by Tavares. And Sakai, I think, will go all the way back to Mondonda. Here's a Campos, always positive, and gets another corner. There was a time when his Marseille career looked to be all but over when he was sent out on loan to Genoa and then to AC Milan, but the Argentine back under Rudy Garcia and very much part of his plans. Payet's corner this time does find the head of a teammate, but Rami can't keep that one down. Here's Mitroglou. Nice bit of skill against the free kick. He's really come in for a lot of criticism as the Greece international since arriving some 15 months ago from Benfica. Wasn't exactly what the Marseille fans had in mind when they wanted a replacement for Bafétimbi Gomis. That's good play between Strootman and Campos. Here is the Argentine. Trying to get away from 3. Senu Koulibaly does the tidying up. That's good play by Lopez. Mitroglou, who's noticeably dropping very deep. Sa. That'll be a Marseille throw. Marseille were beaten 2-0 by Paris Saint-Germain here last time out, or at least the last home game, and then were undone 3-0 by Montpellier last weekend. They haven't failed to score in 3 since 2012. Surely he's offside. Maxime Lopez, but the flag stays down. Easy enough for Runarsson. He's got big gloves to fill as Runarsson, coming in the summer to replace Baptiste René, who moved down to Toulouse. Caught by Wesley Saïd. Saïd was actually a late change to the starting lineup. Benjamin Janot was originally in the starting 11. Here's Sliti. He'll be keen to impress. Marseille born. He's actually on Marseille's books early in his career, and it's bounced nicely here for Saïd, and the long leg of Rami saves Marseille. Could have been very dangerous. That will be a yellow card, surely. The challenge on Sarr. Wesley Lautoa will be fortunate to escape a booking here. Doesn't have good memories of this stadium, actually. Wesley Lautoa, 9 minutes into his Dijon debut in the opening game of last season, broke a leg, was out until January. Dijon losing that one 3-0. Lopez was caught there too, but Payet does really well to scurry back and win it back. Gets the free kick. Here's Rosier. Has battled his way into the France under-21 squad. Helped them qualify for next summer's Euro in Italy and San Marino. Believe it or not, first time that France have qualified since 2006. They'll certainly go there as one of the favourites to win. Germany, the reigning champions after their triumph against Spain in Poland in 2017. Here's Sliti. Oh, it's opened up for Naim Sliti. Shoveled away unconvincingly by Mondonda. The Marseille defence just backed off, inviting Sliti to shoot. Balmont's header.
Here's Rosier. Rather sedate minutes have gone. Marseille 0, Dijon 0. The only action of note, that shot from Sleety just a minute ago. Hardly surprising that there's a slow start though. No goals have been scored in the opening 25 minutes of a Marseille league game this season by either side. Maybe an opportunity here though. Saïd. Positive from the former Rennes striker. Got a couple of goals in the recent win over Caen in the Coupe de la Ligue. Just one league goal this season though. You can see why Olivier Dall'Olio though wants Saïd up alongside Tavares. Saïd very much like Lois Diony, who formed a very prolific and fruitful partnership for Dijon with Tavares a couple of seasons back. Here's a Campos. Now Strootman. Campos felt that one. We're going to see a card here. Lautoa, as is being pointed out, that's his second. Approaching 150 Ligue 1 appearances, Wesley Lautoa. He almost fouled Balmont too. And he's given Marseille a useful free kick here. Tovan's there, Mitroglou as well. And Payet can deliver. Not sure who that came off. Rami was in there. Appears to be a number of Marseille players offside as well when the ball was delivered. Still not sure who that came off. Looks to me like it would have been a corner. But the offside flag was up. Just got a glimpse of Frédéric Bompard, who's in the Marseille dugout today. Rudy Garcia suspended from the dugout following his red card against Paris Saint-Germain. Bompard, who was goalkeeping coach at Dijon, while Garcia was first team coach there between 2002-2007, took the team up to Ligue 2. And Bompard has been with Garcia since at Lille, Roma, Le Mans, and now Marseille. This time as assistant coach though. That's well done by Campos. Good little run too from Strootman, and Payet's there and scooped over by Mitroglou. Good interchange of passes from Marseille. Snatched at the finish though, did Mitroglou. Smart build-up though from Marseille. He has got 3 goals already in Ligue 1 this season, Kostas Mitroglou. He's actually got the earliest goal that Marseille have scored in the 2-0 win over Caen. He found the net 36 minutes in. That would have been extremely premature by comparison. Loïo Dice's shot floored Rami. Marseille starting to find their rhythm. 15 minutes in. Here's Gustavo. Mitroglou. Rami now. Sarr thought Mitroglou was continuing his run. Sleety turns smartly away from Rami and then finds the back of the Marseille defender. Rosier. Oh, good play by Tavares, who's rolled round Gustavo. An important interception from Sakai. Saïd was in behind him, but this is a good spell for Dijon. Shafiq. Balmont. And Marseille regrouping nicely. They've had their problems at the back. In fact, their defensive record, they've conceded 21, is the worst since the 1984-85 season. But they have had a lot of problems with suspensions, with injuries, notably Rami, after his exertions at the World Cup, although he didn't play for France. He was part of their World Cup winning squad and credited with creating a lot of the team spirit. Here's another World Cup winner, Florian Thauvin. Chance to shoot as well. The appeals for handball inside the box by Dijon. Campos in the way. Rudy Garcia giving the Argentine a lot of praise in the week, talking about how he always gives his all, huge amounts of determination. That's why he likes to have him in the side. Easily cut out by Sarr. And now a chance for Payet. That'll be a free kick. Koulibaly, who was caught, and he's hurt himself too. Concern on the face of Olivier Dall'Olio. As much for the potential injury to his centre-back as for the free kick that he gave away. Payet just too clever, too quick. The Dijon boss does have options on the bench at centre-back. I suspect that Laurent Simon will come on if Koulibaly can't continue, and I don't think he can. Looks like he's pulled his left hamstring. In fact, it's Oussama Haddadi who's warming up. Oh, Simon's there as well. Well, when they've decided who'll replace Koulibaly, they've also got a very dangerous free kick to defend. Could go from bad to worse for Dijon. But that's really disappointing. Senou Koulibaly's already had a thigh injury this season. He's got another one now. Got the late winner in the opening day win against Montpellier. I think he's torn his left hamstring. He's going to be out for a while. So an enforced change for the visitors.
Not sure they'll be able to make it before this free kick, though. Thauvin, Payet, of course, is there. It's going to be Simon who's coming off the bench. Payet, Thauvin, Sarr's there as well. Two Marseille men making a nuisance of themselves in the wall. It'll be Thauvin, and it'll be over the bar. It's been a frustrating few weeks for Florian Thauvin. 6 goals in a real flurry at the start of the season, then just 1 in the last 5. And there is the change. Laurent Simon is on for Koulibaly. Simon, who was a reserve for the World Cup squad for Belgium, not included in Roberto Martinez's latest squad for their Nations League doubleheader against Iceland and Switzerland. Would have made the World Cup though if Thomas Vermaelen or Vincent Kompany hadn't been fit. In the end they were, as Martinez took the country to a 3rd place finish, their best ever. Near side. Baumont's first time flick is a good one. Chafik struck Sakai. Midway through the first half, Marseille 0, Dijon 0. A quick free kick from Strootman. Doesn't catch out Runarsson though. Should feel pretty comfortable coming out of his goal, the Iceland international. He's modelled his game on Edison, the Manchester City goalkeeper. Play really bunched up in this central part of the pitch on the right flank. Perhaps Campos can give it a bit of width now. Here's Thauvin attacking Chafik. Does a good job of holding him up for Campos. Lopez, Payet, and Sarr just got a little high on him. And a foul by Mitroglou. Not very convincing when Marseille come forward. The spark has really gone in the final third for Rudy Garcia's side. Just 3 goals in the last 5. They had scored 19 in the first 7, an average of nearly 3 a game. Confidence is very low indeed in front of goal, and they've been conceding too. Not a healthy recipe for a team that wants to finish in the top 3. Remember, they're 7 points behind second placed Lille, who could only draw 0-0 with Strasbourg on Friday, and then Montpellier, who were in third, 6 points ahead, but they were beaten by Angers yesterday. So results going Marseille's way. But they also saw Saint-Etienne, Lyon, and then Nice sneak ahead of them in the table. Nice with that win at Nîmes, where Marseille are the only side to have lost in Ligue 1 this season. Immediate treatment for Koulibaly then on the bench. Lopez darts forward but loses it. Said. Sliti. Balmond bundled over, but gets the throw. Playing his 486th Ligue 1 Conforama game is Florent Belmois, 38 now. 21 years older than his midfield partner Enzo Loiodice, number 12. And he's the one trying to charge down Bounoussai, who put a heavy touch on that one and allowed Rosier to slide in. Here's Montonda. Strootman, who played for 3 years with Rudy Garcia at Roma whilst they played. He missed a good portion of the 14-15 and 15-16 seasons. Was out for some 13 months after a really bad cruciate ligament injury. But very much a player that Garcia wanted to bolster his Marseille midfield. Here's Payet. Caught a little bit in possession, but again, will not keep that in. It'll be a Marseille throw deep in Dijon territory. Sarr trying to take on Sliti and Rosier. The Dijon duo come out on top. Rosier now can bring it forward. He's got Sliti to his left. It's a nice ball too. An important header from Sakai, not for the first time. The Japan international coming across from left back to help out. Here goes the Campos on that left-hand side as we approach the half-hour mark. Marseille 0, Dijon 0. Lopez, busy as ever. Lautoa go back to Runarsson. Nicely done by Sarr, who'd been converted very successfully into a right back, having been an attacking midfielder for his time at Metz. Here's Gustavo. Campos now.
Marseille need to inject movement and pace. Look at the number of white shirts all concentrated in the middle. And the boos and the whistles for their own players rise up from the Velodrome crowd. They can push their side on, but they can also be a very heavy weight on their backs too, if things are not going right, and for now they're not. Here's Thauvin. Mitroglou. And Thauvin! I think it got a touch. It certainly did off Simon. Just past the post. Brunison clearly relieved. Counter-attacks on for Dijon here. Balmont. Said goes for the return. Here's Simon. Wyatt was in quickly. Still hope for us middle-aged players yet. Here's a chance for Balmont to shoot. Usually does better than that from distance. He knows that was an opportunity, at least to test Mondonda. He knows all about Rudy Garcia too. Florent Balmont, he was such a part of that brilliant side that won the domestic double under Garcia in 2011. Rami was in there as well. Other names such as Eden Hazard, Gervinho, Moussa Sow, Yohan Cabaye, Mathieu Debuchy. Really good footballing side that Garcia put together up there. And Christophe Galtier seems to be doing the same, although with much younger players. Here's Balmont. Behind everyone. Simon. Just signs that Dijon are growing in confidence here. They've only lost 2 of their 6 away games this season. They've won at Montpellier and at Nice. They won 4-0 actually in that early rush of form in August. So they've generally done well away from home. They're holding relatively comfortably here. So Thauvin plays a lovely ball in, a chance here. Oh dear! Well, Dijon should have been 1-0 down. That is one of the misses of the season. Thauvin's ball in was nice. So Campos had to stretch, but Mitroglou just had to sweep that in. What a miss. I was just saying that Dijon were looking fairly comfortable. They'll be very comfortable if Marseille keep passing up opportunities like that. Here's a chance though for Thauvin. Good challenge by Rozier. And suddenly with 10 minutes to go till half-time, Marseille have upped the tempo and upped the goal threat. Here's Lopez. Good ball out to Payet, just casually plays it back to Rami. Lopez again.
for Rosier. Rosier. Tova seems to be coming into his own too. The more the first half wears on, but he's not going to get a free kick there. He never wanted to leave Marseille, but I think that Newcastle United will regret not giving Florian Thauvin more time at St James's Park, particularly with the struggles that they're having this season. He's been a quite brilliant performer for Marseille in the last couple of seasons. There was Wesley Side up against Adil Rami. Borio DJ. Now it's Balmont. Got Shafiq outside him. Not a good ball from Balmont, who should know better. If you're a Marseille fan, you might just want to look away. Strikers always say that you've got to be just in the right position to miss them. But Mitroglou knows, as does everybody else in the stadium, that he should have taken that one. That was a glaring miss. Marseille can ill afford that kind of generosity. They might have a little bit of a problem here too. Here's Sleety. Blocked by Rami. Now Rosier. Cheaply given away to Lopez. Thauvin. Mitroglou's strength is not his pace. Strength by Rami and good skill too. Here's Mitroglou. Payet, space on the left now for Ocampos. Payet spots him. Four Marseille men streaming up in support. Ocampos is still going though. Fine shot and a good save by Runarsson. Really good counter-attack from Marseille. Over the head of everyone and away by Said. Encouraging signs then for Marseille. If not any goals as yet. Here's Lopez. That will be something of a concern though. The fact that they haven't made the breakthrough.
Payet. Not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Not sure if even he knows. I think he was going to try and lob Runarsson, which he may well have done if he'd gotten the shot on target, because Runarsson had come a very long way for that ball. And after a problem for Koulibaly, Balmain's got a problem too. Jordan Marier is going to come on. So 2 injury-enforced changes for the visitors before the break. And he's just come back from 6 months out with an Achilles problem as Florent Balmain. Let's hope that that's not so serious. But it's serious enough to force him off the pitch. The 38-year-old, and he'll be replaced by Marier, who was in the starting lineup for the defeat to Nîmes last weekend. So for the moment, Dijon down to 10 men as Marier continues his warm-up. Just a few minutes before half-time. I wonder if Dijon will just play through with 10 men, allow Marier to warm up properly. That's miscued by Gustavo, and he gets away with it. Yeah, it's ball for Rosier. Clips it forward, and Tavares is there, but he's offside too. Dijon still down to 10 men as they wait for Marier to come on. And Laurent Simon is going to go into the book here. He didn't actually make contact with the Campos, it was the other way around. In the end, it's not Marier who comes on, it's Haddadi. So let's see how that changes things, because Haddadi's very much a defender and Balmain is a midfielder. I wonder if the defender's been pushed up into midfield. Let's see. Play it with the free kick. Good delivery as always. Away by Simon. Important header too. Sarr. Marseille still applying the pressure. We're inside the final minute of the first 45. The Marseille man down inside the penalty area. I think it's Florian Thauvin. Took a blow at the back of the head, clearly. Thauvin says, play on, but I was elbowed. Play it again. Slants one towards Sarr. Strootman is there in support. With all the stoppages that we've had for injuries. Got 2 minutes added on here. That's a good schoolboy from Bounassar. Didn't take the throw in properly.
his header. Sana. Mitroglou runs into Boyedice, and now Saïd. Can Dijon stun the Velodrome crowd just before the break? If they do, you might want to put your fingers in your ears ahead of the half-time whistle, because the jeers and whistles from the crowd will be deafening. They might well be anyway, given this first half performance. Gustavo. This is Lopez, now Strootman and Sa. Payet now switched over to this right-hand side. He'll get a free kick there. And Lanto will have to watch his step. He's already been booked. Did get the ball, to be fair, but also a piece of Dimitri Payet's Achilles. Here's Thauvin. At his best when he's running at defenders. Was that a foul? No, says Mr. Delajode. Lopez. Got two balls on the pitch. Some enthusiastic ball boy or ball girl trying to help the home team. Payet's corner, near post header from Rami. And his girlfriend Pamela Anderson delighted with her beau. A first goal of the league season for the France international. A Marseille classic, a Payet corner, a Rami header. Nicely done. And it's the final action of the first half. Rami saving his side from a real barracking from the home fans. They'd missed chances, but they took a classic one from a set piece. At the break then, it's Marseille 1, Dijon 0.
Messieurs, aux côtés de Maxime Lopez. Maxime, il a mis du
Maxime
temps à
Lopez.
venir ce but dans un nouveau schéma du côté de l'OM avec Florian Thauvin très proche de Mitroglou.
Oui, c'est vrai que ça fait maintenant 2 matchs là qu'on joue avec ce dispositif.
Now we've played in this system for 2 matches. It's different. We have to adapt to it.
Du match, voilà, je trouve qu'on fait une très bonne première mi-temps.
I think we played quite well in the first half. We've had chances, they did too.
Les plus grosses occasions.
But I think we had the bigger chances. We didn't put them away, but it does us a lot of good to have scored just before the break.
Celui-là, à la 40e, il est magnifique.
There's no better time to score, he says.
Avec Wesley Saïd, évidemment,
Yes,
là il y a moins de
Wesley Saïd.
sourire. Wesley, c'est dur de le prendre parce que vous avez bien tenu cette première période.
Ouais, c'est ça, je pense qu'on a été compact dans
I think
l'ensemble
we
de la
were
première
compact,
partie
he
de
said, for
mi-temps.
the
Et de
for the
prendre ce
first half.
but-là dans les dernières secondes,
To
c'est sûr que ça
concede a
fait
goal
mal
like that,
au
it
moral
really
juste avant la
hurts.
mi-temps.
Et malheureusement, beaucoup de
real
blessés,
blow
beaucoup de
to our
changements.
morale.
Ouais, c'est ça, il y a eu pas mal de
Had a lot of
circonstances.
injuries too, a lot of things have gone
Mais
against
sinon, dans
us.
l'ensemble, je pense qu'on a été
But I
solide.
think
Maintenant, il va
overall we
falloir
were
mettre ça,
solid,
mais
but now
mettre
we
les
have to do
occasions.
that again,
Merci beaucoup, Wesley.
but put our chances away. Wonder if Campos got a touch onto Rami's header. I think it was going in anyway. Marseille with 11 shots, just the one on target though. That pretty much tells its own story. There was a good degree of willing, but not a lot of quality in the final third. Mitroglou, though, should have scored earlier in the first half. He really should. Check it out for what was an absolutely horror miss. Dijon started fairly brightly. Marseille invited Naim Sleety to shoot. And a volleyball save from Steve Mondonda. Lucas Campos was his usual industrious self. Mitroglou missing that one. That was a more difficult chance, though, than the one he would fire over shortly afterwards. Florian Thauvin had this opportunity too. To be fair to Mitroglou, he did well to hold it up. Ricochet off Laurent Simon, one of 2 injury-enforced substitutions that Dijon had to make in that first half. Thauvin involved here as well. His ball in, a Campos' stretch, and well, Mitroglou fluffing his lines very badly indeed. This was a nice counter-attack. A Campos with a shot in the end, Runarsson with a save. Looked like Marseille wouldn't make the breakthrough before the break. But that was before Dimitri Payet took a corner 3 minutes into added time at the end of the first half. Adil Rami heading to the near post. Dijon somehow allowing him a free header, which he promptly dispatched into the net. First goal of the league season for the big France international. But you have to question why Rami was not picked up at all by the Dijon back four. So it's 1-0 then to Marseille at the break. Welcome back to the Stade Velodrome. A change for Marseille at the start of the second half. And it's Kostas Mitroglou who's paid the price for those misses in the first half. The second one, a real horror miss. And it's Valère Germain who replaces him. We're underway then. Marseille lead. In fact, the goal wasn't given to Adil Rami. Lucas Ocampos did get a touch to put it over the line. Although I think Rami won't be too happy with his teammates who's charging on here. Rami surely would have wanted that goal. Doesn't get all that many. And I think his header was going in anyway. But officially it's Ocampos who gets the strike, and that's the difference between the two sides so far here today. Only his second goal of the league season for Ocampos. So Rami's back to 0. Don't know if he knows that yet. Payet takes it short. Here's Lopez. Payet. And still Payet. Chance to shoot perhaps. And Sleety snuffing out the danger. Shafiq now. Dijon have generally struggled here. They haven't won at the Stade Velodrome since February 2012. Yunus Sankare and Gael Kakuta were their scorers that day in a 2-1 win. Here's Bounassar. Thauvin loves cutting in from that right hand side onto that left foot. Not quite as quick as Arjen Robben. He's in that sort of mould. Lopez. Strootman on the far side. Doesn't usually get out into wide positions. Central midfielder who's in the mould of his compatriot Mark van Bommel, who has to be one of the most competitive footballers ever seen in the game. Horrible as an opponent, but lovely man off the pitch, I can say from personal experience. Enjoyed talking to him many times when he was the captain of Bayern Munich. Marseille will be hoping Strootman can be just as inspirational, but he's given a poor ball to Lopez, and Dijon can counter. Said. Shafiq's outside him. It's going to drop here for Sleety. Might have done better. Might have done better there, Naim Sleety, and he knows it. Hasn't got a league goal this season, Naim Sleety, but he did find the net in the Coupe de la Ligue victory over Caen on Halloween. Kind of unusual, though, that Dijon have found goals hard to come by. Last season, they one of the most entertaining teams in the division. They were the 5th top scorers, actually. They started out like that as well in their first 3 games. They got 8 of the 12 that they've scored so far in those first 3 matches. Here's Payet. Germain wants it back, and he's going to get it. Good goalkeeping by Runarsson. Spotted the danger in behind his defenders.
Lopez. He's been a busy cog in the Marseille midfield. Germain. Not a good ball in. Here's Loïc Diche, just called up by the France under-20 coach Bernard Diamed, who was part of France's 1998 World Cup winning squad, actually. Liverpool fans may remember him as well for a brief and not particularly successful spell in Anfield. But at 17, Loïc Diche, a real prospect. Actually comes from Paris, is a PSG fan. He'll get to play against his boyhood heroes in the penultimate game of 2018 for Dijon. Sleety's there, so is Loïc Diche. There he is. Cloud of players going to rush towards the centre of that goal. Easy enough from Mondonda. Came off the head of Haddadi. Lopez again. Nicely done in a tight spot between Lopez and Payet. Flick didn't quite come off the toe of that. Now Sleety can burst forward and play in. Saïd here. Wesley Saïd still. And Sakai did well to keep his feet and his bearings and take the ball off the Dijon forward. He's been such a solid performer as Hiroki Sakai. Very rarely puts in a bad performance. Japan international who was in Germany with Hanover before he moved to Marseille. Rosier. Haddadi now. Here's Shafik. Morocco international. Missed out on his country's World Cup squad. Might get in here again. Well, Gustavo has a real problem. Marseille nearly had one too. Full-blooded from Shafik and Gustavo. The deflection off Rami. Very nearly took it into the net. That is painful. Should be a yellow card really for Shafik. He was late. Yeah, no wonder. The Brazilian is suffering. He's right. That should have been a card. Nothing given except a corner to Dijon. Marseille need to focus. Sliti's ball in. There was a foul by Aguerd, says Mr. Delajotte. Young Moroccan defender who was at the King Mohammed VI Academy in Rabat. Naïf Aguerd made his debut in that 4-0 win at Nice earlier in the season, scored his first goal as well. It's a strange game, it was 0-0 up to the 69th minute when Aguerd opened the scoring, and Dijon got 3 in the last 7 minutes to make it a very convincing scoreline. Nice though recovering very well. Moved ahead of Marseille yesterday with that win at Nîmes. So Thauvin comes forward. Away by Haddadi. And Sliti does well to turn away from Lopez. He's coming more into the game, Naïm Sliti. That's not something that Marseille will want to see. That's a good ball by Simon. If Shafiq had been able to take it. And yeah, Aguerd across to Simon, who joined Dijon from the MLS franchise Los Angeles FC in the summer. Had actually been in the MLS since 2015, Simon. Had 2 very successful seasons with the Montreal Impact, now under the guidance of the former Lyon boss Remy Gard. They previously had Didier Drogba there as well, Drogba who's considering retirement now at the age of 40. Drogba, who is of course a huge Marseille hero for his efforts in the 2003-04 season, when he virtually single-handedly got them to the then UEFA Cup final, which they lost out to Valencia. Here's Wesley Said, goes past Gustavo and then wastes his own good work. Cutely done by Wesley Said. That was less so. Marseille really struggling to get going as an attacking force in this second half. And there'll be considerable hope for Dijon. Marseille have had a real tendency to concede late goals. Conceded no fewer than 5 in the last 5 minutes of league games this season. No team more. Although Lyon must be running them close, although a couple of their late equalisers were in the Champions League. Well, that's nicely done by Said. The ball was there to be won. Lovely ball by Sliti. Important touch by Ocampos. Good defending, actually.
We've had an hour at the Stade Orange Velodrome. Marseille 1, Dijon 0. Marseille leading, but not convincing. Here's Gustavo. Champions League winner with Bayern Munich in 2013 when they beat Borussia Dortmund in the final at Wembley. Although in truth, Gustavo was just a bit part player in that campaign. Was never an established first-team regular at Bayern. Still, to have the quality to play for a club of that stature, you're going to be a real asset to many clubs, and so he's proved at Marseille. Yes, Simon blasts it forward, but straight onto the head of Sakai. Campos battling as ever. Why is a fan favourite here? Payet. Lopez still very laboured from Marseille. Sarr's ball in. Helped on its way by Shafiq. Caught on the Achilles was the Campos by Shafiq. Nothing dainty about Shafiq's challenge despite those pink boots. And Marseille have a useful free kick here. Virtually anywhere within 30 metres of the goal is useful. And you've got Dimitri Payet standing behind the ball. He's got one assist from a set piece already. Payet's delivery flicked on by Germain. In fact, it got a touch of a Dijon head. Simon it was. Payet then with the corner. Low for Lopez, who caught it well, but caught it wide. Clean connection from the 20-year-old who'll celebrate his 21st birthday next month. Marseille born and bred. I suspect that Mondonda treatment is from the challenge with Saïd just a couple of minutes ago. This is the one. They do have very decent cover indeed in that man there, Johan Pele. He was in goal on Thursday against Lazio. He'll only have 2 more Europa League encounters though to play. Marseille with just a point in That was a draw with Apollon Limassol from 4 matches in the competition so far. Eintracht Frankfurt came here and beat Marseille in the opening game. They lost back-to-back games with Lazio. But they certainly would have expected a much better showing in European competition. They're the first and so far only French side to have been crowned European champions. Remember 1993, Basile Boli, the only goal of the game to beat the legendary AC Milan side. He had been in the final 2 years before that for those aficionados out there. Quite brilliant Marseille team with Papin, Waddle and Bedi Pele. Losing on penalties to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you prefer. Morgan Sanson preparing to come on. Add a little bit more drive and certain goal threat too from midfield. For the moment though, the hosts are on the attack. Here's Tova, Sarr outside him. And it flicks off Rosier in behind for a corner. And Sarr will sensibly leave that for Payet. I suspect Adil Rami will be a bit more closely watched. His header that Campos just touched over the line for the opening goal in first half added time. It's from a Payet corner. Another near post ball, and this time Rosier is alert to the danger. Very Abel Xavier with that kind of haircut. Former Portugal international. Part of that great golden generation around Euro 2004 with the likes of Rui Costa and Luis Figo. Payet's ball in, Rami nearly gets there again. What are they playing at, Dijon? Good drive forward from Lopez, but Campos. Like to see more his usual pacey directness. Here's Rami. Payet now. It's off the heels of Sarr, but it stays in. Or does it? Fouled in the end by Rosier. And here comes the change. It's a double change. Actually one for either side. Morgan Sanson is going to come on for Maxim Lopez, who's had a very good game actually. A little bit surprised to see him go off. Lopez having his name sung by those fans that he would surely be standing amongst. Marseille born and bred. Payet's free kick, nice delivery. And a good solid header away too. And here's Sleety. And Dijon coming forward in numbers. Haddadi, Shafiq's with him as well. But Campos having to race back and concede a corner. Good counter-attack from the visitors. More solid defensive work from Lucas Campos. And that's the last we've seen of Wesley Said for today. And we're going to have Jules Keita, nicknamed Baby Neymar,
in his native Guinea. Let's see what he can do. First touch for him. And it's behind for another corner. As you might expect for anybody who's nicknamed Baby Neymar, a lot of hype comes to Jules Keita. Sleety on the header. It was Aguerd who made contact, but straight at Mandanda. Strutman. 18 minutes left. Marseille not really hanging on, but certainly holding on. A little bit feebly to this 1-0 lead. Rosier. Keita makes the run ahead of him. Loyodice. Again. Good ball for Rosier. He's had a solid game as Valentin Rosier, and he's attacking Marseille here down that left-hand side. Dijon certainly believe they can get something from this game still. Here's Keita. Visitors still have it. And Germain's back to tackle. Says something when the centre forward has to get back and help out the defenders. And that's a free kick. Just on the corner of the penalty area there. Actually, just a little tug by Morgan Sanson. Sleety did the rest, but he's got his side a free kick here. Dall'Oglio knows this is an opportunity. Sleety to deliver. It's off the wall, it'll be a corner. Away acrobatically by Sarr. And here's Payet. Thauvin racing clear. It's a great ball by Payet, forced a little bit wide, and that gave Rosier the chance to get across and block. Good recovery by the Dijon defender. Ball from Payet wasn't quite where Thauvin wanted it. But it is a Marseille corner. Payet with it. And for once, his delivery lets him down. Rosier. Nice ball. Simon. Shafiq now, 15 minutes to go. Marseille 1, Dijon 0. Lucas Campos in first half added time with the goal. That's the difference between these two. Marseille, remember, badly need that win. This will put them to within touching distance of the top three. They'd still be 3 points short of Montpellier. We're going to have a third and final change for the home side. And it's Florian Thauvin who makes way for young Boubacar Kamara. So an attacker for a defender. That sends a clear message. Doesn't look too amused, does he? Jacques-Henri Hérault, the Marseille president, has been in situ since Frank McCourt, the American businessman, took over in October 2016. Appointed Rudy Garcia almost immediately as well. Here's Strootman. Oh, poor ball. Very poor ball indeed from a player of his caliber. Keita steals in on the blind side of Sarr. Dijon still have it. They've certainly been on top in terms of possession in the last 10-15 minutes. Can they make it count though? Good ball by Rosier. A sign of just how much Dijon have been pressing forward that Rosier has played virtually the entire second half in the Marseille half, and he's a fullback for a side that's currently third from bottom of the league. It's a pretty damning indictment of Marseille and their lack of confidence right now. Foul by Sanson. I think Laurent Simon is just getting a talking to for refereeing the game a little bit more than the actual referee. Approaching the final 10 minutes. Marseille 1, Dijon 0. Is Dijon's winless streak going to head into double figures? It will if it continues like this. Marseille, 2 losses in their last 2, 3 losses in the last 5. Badly need this win, especially as they've struggled against the sides ahead of them in the table. In fact, they have lost to all of the current top 4 this season, scoring twice and conceding 12. If you want to find a reason why they're trailing in the table, that is it.
Here's Gustavo. 14 shots for Marseille and 9 for Dijon make it sound like a thriller, but the goalkeepers certainly haven't been extended, particularly in the second half. Foul by Sliti on camera. Looks a real prospect, does young Boubacar Camara. Here's Sanson. Lovely run. Good challenge too by Simon. One back by Marseille, but equally quickly given away. Here's Haddadi. 8 minutes to go. Campos. Can't take the ball with him. It's very scrappy from both sides, to be fair, not just Marseille. Taken quickly by Camara. Here's Payet. Germain, poor first touch. And Haddadi just walks away with it and then gives it away. Not a great passage of play from either side. Sarr takes on Rosier and we'll get a free kick, I think. A little bit of a cheap one. I think Rosier just lost his footing. Here's an opportunity. A second for Marseille would surely kill it. Payet, as ever, lines this one up. Plenty of white and blue shirts to aim at in the penalty area. It's going to drop here for Strootman and helped on. And this time Rami does score. No doubt about the goal scorer this time. And relief around the Stade Velodrome. Strootman did really well. And Rami in the right place at the right time for Marseille inside that 6-yard box. No chance for Runarsson. It's that little deviation just in front of him. And it is a first goal for Adil Rami of the Ligue 1 season. And the Marseille fans finally find their voice. It's been very quiet for most of the afternoon. Rami clears. He's had a good game, actually. at the back too. There's Payet. Oh, it's just behind camera. He's actually playing in midfield. The youngster who usually plays centre-back. Here goes Keita. Easily dispossessed by Camera, but he tries to win it back, does the young Guinean. Struman does really well to turn that back towards the goal. He was a major influence off the pitch behind France's World Cup win was Adil Rami. Didn't play a single minute in Russia, but was credited with huge influence in the dressing room, in the team hotel. And he's had a big impact on this game. Would even have had 2 goals, but for a slight touch off the boot of Lucas Campos. Rosier helps it forward again. Here's Sleety, nicely taken. Campos still battling. Really does put in a shift for the side. Campos trying to find a way out of a tight spot. Doesn't manage it. Towering clearance by Rami. 2 minutes left. Keita running at the Marseille defence, and he's stopped by Gustavo. Dijon, to their credit, still pressing. It's been a successful match, if not a particularly impressive one. In charge for Frederic Bompard, the assistant coach to Rudy Garcia, who's banned from the dugout following his red card against Paris Saint-Germain in Marseille's last home game, which was a 2-0 defeat to their arch rivals. PSG in action later today. They go to Monaco, hoping to add yet more problems for Thierry Henry to sort out, with what would be a 13th successive win from the start of the season. Incredible start from Paris Saint-Germain. It's a record start, in fact, in Europe's top 5 leagues. They've beaten the record, which was previously held by Tottenham Hotspur, of 11 back in the early 60s. Here goes Tavares. Little nudge from Gustavo is enough. Just shoulder to shoulder enough for Mr. Delajode not to give a penalty. 3 minutes to be added on here. Marseille will hope to play them out as
calmly as possible. Here's Sanso. Is possessed by Haddadi. DJ put in by Camera. And foul, says Mr. Delajot. There's a trip to Amiens for Marseille after the international break. Not an easy place to go to. The Stade de la Licorne. Here's Rosier. Keita showing real pace coming in off that left flank again. A little bit overzealous though, catching Gustavo. Dijon have got some important games coming up too. They play Bordeaux, who aren't in great shape right now, and then they head to Toulouse, who are in real free fall. Had a good start to the season themselves. They find themselves just above the relegation zone now. They were beaten actually by Amiens yesterday. Amiens picking up their first away win of the season. And after that, Dijon will play the side currently bottom of the table, Guingamp. Jocelyn Gourvenec coming back to take over at Guingamp as of tomorrow. Dijon will be looking to win at least 2 of those 3 games though. There's Payet. They're not going to win this one. Marseille 2, Dijon 0. We've got seconds left. Here's Rosier again. Artaud. Wide for Shafiq. Dijon pressing forward still, looking for a consolation. Well read by Gustavo. And that's it for this one. Lucas Ocampos and Adil Rami with the goals. Marseille getting back on track. It's ended here. Marseille 2, Dijon 0. There is still a lot of work to do though for Marseille. Struggle going forward. Goals coming from set pieces actually. They did have opportunities from open play, but not all that many. But the delivery of Dimitri Payet causing Dijon enough problems for Marseille to get those 2 goals. Relief more than happiness in the Marseille ranks, you have to say. Dijon though now in real trouble. 10 games without a win, 8 of them defeats. Amazing how form can just disappear like that. After winning the 3 opening games of the season, just 2 points in 10 afterwards. That's not Marseille's problem though. They picked up the win that puts them back ahead of Nice. They're now on 22 points.
in 6th place. Saint-Etienne, who won yesterday against Reims, they're 5th on 23. Lyon 4th on 24. Montpellier in 3rd on 25. And Lille in 2nd on 26. So just 4 points now between 6th and 2nd.
Merci.
Paris Saint-Germain in a league of their own almost.
Ouais, désolé Christophe,
Let's hear
merci
from,
Naïm de
Naïm
venir nous
Sliti.
répondre. C'est pas facile parce que c'est un peu une après-midi cauchemar parce qu'il y a eu beaucoup de blessés et il y avait certainement mieux à espérer dans ce match.
Exactement, ce que je vous ai dit avant le match, il y avait vraiment la place. On sentait qu'ils n'étaient pas bien.
We
Après,
knew
la
that they
différence,
weren't
c'est
in
que
good
Payet,
form,
il a
but the
bien tiré le coup de
difference
priorité et Sliti les a mal tirés.
is Payet's
Ça fait
free
ça.
kicks. He took them
C'est-
well,
franchement,
and
c'est dommage.
I didn't take them
Je pense
well.
qu'il y avait
I
vraiment
think
la
it's a
place.
shame.
On a
I
bien
think we
joué.
really could have
Il
done
manquait le petit
something.
geste à la fin.
We lacked
Faut
the
continuer comme ça,
killer
honnêtement,
touch.
je pense depuis,
We have to keep
certes,
going like
depuis,
we
4-5
did today. I
matchs, on est
think
bien dans
the
le
last
jeu.
4 or
Et
5
je pense
games
que ça va
we've
démarrer,
done pretty well. I
Le
think
scénario était vraiment noir
things
parce
will
qu'il y a eu
turn
ce but
around.
juste avant le repos et après vous avez un très bon temps fort en début de seconde.
Ouais, exactement. Il nous a fait très mal ce but.
they really
Je pense
hurt
qu'on
us
était
with
bien,
that goal
franchement,
late
dans
in
le
the
jeu,
first half. I think
On
we're
les a
playing
fait
well.
On sentait qu'ils n'étaient pas bien, ils s'engueulaient entre eux.
We knew that they weren't
Après,
good. They
voilà,
were
la
shouting at
différence,
each
c'était
other.
cette clarité.
But the
Merci beaucoup,
difference
Naïm. Bonne
was the
continuation en tout cas pour
set pieces.
la suite et on va enchaîner messieurs avec Bounassar. Bouna,
Here's Bounassar.
on va pas se mentir, il n'y a pas forcément eu la manière. En tout cas, ce qui est important, c'est de rester collé au peloton de tête.
Ouais, mais après, il y a eu du mieux, il y a eu des bonnes choses, des très bonnes choses.
I think we were
au
better
dernier match,
today.
donc,
I think there were some good
pas mal de
things in
positifs ce soir.
comparison to the recent games. I think
Le plus
there's a lot
important,
of positive
c'est de
things
gagner,
this
de
evening. The
renouer avec
important thing
la
was to
victoire
win,
chez nous en plus, donc,
especially at
voilà,
home.
on va rentrer dans une période de trêve.
We're
Et on va
heading
faire en
into the
sorte de
international
bien
break
bosser
now.
pour mieux
We're going to
repartir.
work well
Marqué juste avant la
and
pause,
head off
normalement,
again
c'est assez important. Et
in
du coup, vous
form
n'arrivez pas
when
à
we
reprendre
start up
aussi
once
fort
more.
en début de seconde période.
Parce que je pense qu'ils jouaient bien les coups défensivement. Donc,
I think they were playing
voilà.
well.
C'est
I
vrai
think
qu'on
they
est,
played well.
on est moins bien reparti en deuxième mi-temps, mais
We didn't start the second
on a
half all
bien
that
géré
well,
le match dans l'ensemble. Donc,
but we
voilà, on n'a pas.
handled the game pretty well overall. I think it was a
aurait pu
decent
mettre un doublé,
performance.
mais Lucas, il n'a pas voulu.
Pourquoi le premier but il est attribué à Lucas? Ah bah. C'est dommage, il en met au moins un. Et
Bounassar,
voilà, il est dans l'action du
talking
premier,
about,
donc, c'est une bonne chose pour lui.
Lucas
Merci beaucoup, Bouna. Bonne
Ocampos.
continuation.
He didn't know that Lucas Ocampos had been given the first goal, but is happy for Adil Rami that he did get one. But just 3 shots of the 16 on target for Marseille, 2 of them going into the back of the net. That's as many as Dijon had as well. As Naïm Sliti pointed out, it was the set piece quality of Dimitri Payet that made all the difference. Don't forget, Dijon had 2 players that they had to take off in the first half due to injury, and then right at the end of it, when we thought that Rami had opened the scoring 3 minutes into added time from Payet's corner, but it was touched in by Ocampos. This time, though, Strootman's overhead kick, and no doubt about the scorer this time. Rami on target. Delight for him and for his girlfriend Pamela Anderson up in the Stade Velodrome stands, and an important win for Marseille. Well, hopefully we'll get a look at all of the weekend's results so far. There was another game being played at the same time as this one. The Breton derby between Rennes and Nantes. Emiliano Sala continuing his good goal-scoring form, great goal-scoring form, even with the equaliser. An early one too after Jakob Johansson had given Rennes the lead. 1-1, that one ended. So another point for Nantes as they continue to climb up the table. Just one game left then in week 13. It's that top of the bill encounter between the side that finished second last season and goes into this one second from bottom against the leaders Paris Saint-Germain, who are seeking a 13th successive win. Monaco really struggling, beaten 4-0 in the Champions League in midweek at home by Bruges. You don't really want to have to face Neymar, Cavani and their former starlet Kylian Mbappe in that sort of form when you are not playing well at all. Lille second, despite that draw on Friday with Strasbourg. Montpellier beaten at Angers on Saturday. Memphis Depay, the star, as Lyon defeated Guingamp 4-2. Depay with a hand in all four. So Guingamp still bottom of the table, only on goal difference from Monaco. Dijon now third from bottom, as Caen picked up a point with a draw against Bordeaux earlier in the day. Amiens following their first away win of the season against Toulouse, who were also in free fall, moving out of the danger zone. It wasn't pretty from Marseille, but it was effective enough to take all 3 points against Dijon. That's all from us. Hope you've enjoyed it. From me, Ian Holyman, and all the rest of the team, it's au revoir.